Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started with our session today. First, let me take the time to thank you all so much for being here and attending this session on our professional enhancement opportunities and how we are here to really support you throughout your graduate studies, as well as hopefully have you set up for success beyond your graduate studies. So my name's Dr. Ashley Sorrell. I am the Assistant Director of Graduate Student Professional Enhancement in the graduate school, but I also split my time with our Teaching and Learning Center on campus. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm here today with my colleague.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby Wood. I am the Assistant Director for Graduate and Professional Student Career Support here at UK. I also split my time between the Stuckert Career Center and the graduate school.
Thanks, Abby. So what we're going to do today in this presentation, I'm first going to talk about what the Graduate Student Professional Enhancement Office does and how you might take advantage of some of our initiatives and resources. Abby is then going to talk about career services specifically and all the resources and support that exist for graduate students thinking about their next career journey, whether that be academia or industry or position beyond academia. So to get started, now I have this set up as a poll, but I want you to ignore the poll part, kind of just so we're not trying to transition between multiple screens. But if you could in the chat, just tell us a little bit about what program you're in, if it's master's, PhD, professional, certificate, and what field. If you just want to chat that, just so we get an idea of who we're talking to and who's in the room. So we'll take about a minute or so to see what kind of programs are being represented. So we have Masters of Social Work, STEM Education, very cool. MBA, Social Work. We have a lot of social work folks in here doing the good work. A couple of PhDs, Doctorate of Social Work. So I like to see that we do have a mix of PhD students or candidates, as well as professional school and master students as well, because we try to reach across all students, all graduate students, no matter what kind of degree they're pursuing. This can even include certificate degrees as well. So what is it that we do and how do we exactly seek to support graduate students? Well, first, we are a very small but mighty unit here at UK. You can see our team here. Dr. Morris Grubbs is the Director of Professional Enhancement. As mentioned, I'm the Assistant Director. And then we have Abby as the Associate Director of Graduate Student Career Advising, Postdoc Career Advising. And so this is kind of a brief bulleted point overview of some of the things that we offer, initiatives that we offer through our office. I'll be going through just a few of these as they might relate to you or would be of specific importance to you. If you scan that QR code, I believe it'll take you to our website if you want to learn more information about us or our office. Trying to get this to advance. Let's see. There we go. All right. So our office really looks at the graduate student through this holistic perspective. You're not just a researcher, you're not just a TA, you're not just a graduate student. And so we really seek to support you across multiple ways. The first being, well, these are in no particular order, but fulfilling profession. And this is really where Abby is vital to us and to our goals of supporting the whole graduate student. Second, impactful research. So really helping you to support and enhance your research experiences and um, and any challenges you might be facing with research as well. Transformative teaching. I don't know how many of you have TA experience or are currently TAing, but we offer a lot of enhancement opportunities around teaching. Even if you are not currently a TA, if you're thinking about the academic job market, we have programs and professional development opportunities to get you maybe more informed about teaching, some of the best practices around teaching. And finally, holistic wellness. We all know that wellness is an important aspect of the graduate career. There is a mental health crisis among graduate students. And so we really try to prioritize wellness. And we often are able to do this through our partnerships with the Counseling Center. We also, I'm an advisor to, or partnered with our Graduate Student Congress, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But it's really these partnerships that allow us to have this robust set of resources for all graduate students. So you can see in the middle some of our advocacy and partnerships that we rely upon. So I'm going to start with, because Abby's going to be talking about careers, I'm going to start with impactful research and the ways in which you can interact with our office as far as your research goals and how we can support you along that research path. The primary way we can do so, and this is one of our most popular offerings, and that is our thesis and dissertation writing camp. So it's open to both master's and doctoral students. If you're writing a thesis or a dissertation, we encourage you to attend this camp. It is all virtual. It used to be in person only, but we moved it virtually during the pandemic and found quite a bit more success offering it virtually because it made it more accessible to more students. Not just online students, but graduate students who have finished their coursework and moved back home or whatever the case may be. And so we offer this camp this says three. We offer it 2 times a year now. The first camp coming up will be over spring break. The second camp is for 2 weeks in the summer. We did used to offer it during winter break, but with UK's calendar now, there's just no space or week in which to do that. But we do offer it spring break and over the summer. And what can you expect from this camp? Really, the goal of the camp is to, one, provide helpful resources for you as you're thinking about or in the process of writing your dissertation and thesis. We've offered workshops on, tips on how to, from start to how to finish your dissertation, workshops around time management, some writing workshops around, transitions in your writing. Also, a lot of support from the libraries around specific research questions or questions related to research databases. But what is really at the heart of this camp are our smaller writing groups that we facilitate. So we might have 50 or so participate in the camp, but we divide those students up, the participants up into smaller writing groups of about 10 that you meet with a facilitator every morning or every other morning of the camp. Usually the facilitators, it'll be me or Abby, Morris. And so you start to build a community of folks who are in the same boat, same shoes as you, struggling in some parts of their research and dissertation, have questions that you might have. And so we really just have the conversation about the writing process, about your experience in grad school as well. And these virtual writing groups sometimes will continue on. So our program manager, Chad, he still has 3 that he's run from previous thesis and dissertation camps. So it's really a good way to virtually connect in with a community of writers. It serves also as an accountability measure. You know, if you lay out your goals for that day and then go back and report to your group, you know, maybe you didn't meet those goals. You know, that's really common. Talk about, you know, what were those barriers and challenges and being able to talk about that in community. Okay. Can everybody still see my screen okay? I'm not sure what happened. Okay. So the second aspect I'm going to talk about is transformative teaching. Now, some of you might be TAs. Not everyone might have the experience of being a TA, but we do offer opportunities to learn more about teaching if, you know, academia is a path you want to go, or even thinking about those transferable skills that teaching might give you that you can talk to in resume and other application materials if you're looking for positions outside of academia. So this is really centered on our partnership with the Center for the Enhancement of Learning and Teaching. CELT offers a number of virtual workshops on teaching and learning. You can scan that QR code pictured on the screen to get a list of our events. But these workshops, you know, introduce you to different components, themes of teaching. Maybe you're just interested in Canva for collaborative learning. They're open to all. And so if you want to start thinking about some of the ways in which challenges in teaching and higher education are being addressed, or some practices that instructors are using in their classroom, you know, I would encourage you to just attend one of these workshops just to see what that conversation is. And so these are just some of our upcoming workshops that you can see if there's any that might speak to you that you would be interested in just attending. But the full list of events is at that QR code. And if you go to CELT's website, you can also join our announcement list. So we also offer through CELT digital badges. And so this is badging through Credly. We currently have two that are available. One is Essentials in Teaching and Learning, just kind of this introductory ground level workshops that go over some, you know, essential practices in teaching. Building community would be one, interactive or effective lecturing. And we also have inclusive teaching. And so these workshops really talking about creating that environment of belonging in the classroom and other issues that might arise. Now, these badges, as I said, a lot of our workshops are virtual, are via Zoom. And the badges, if you enroll in them, they're self-paced. There's a Canvas page associated with each badge. And it's very low stakes as far as how much time it'll take. You have, I think, 2 years to attend 3 or 4 workshops and write a reflection. But you will receive a badge from CELT via Credly. So again, this is one opportunity to think about when you're thinking about your professional development as you move forward as a graduate student. So a recent new initiative we started is Grad Scholar. We call this a doctoral reorientation. And we call it that because many of you might have received the invite or have looked at our new graduate student orientation Canvas site. But this is focused on for those graduate students who are post-quals, so, you know, in the candidacy status. You're about to move from being, about to move into more of an independent scholar role, where you're starting your own research and your own writing. And the Grad Scholar event is meant to support you as you enter into that stage. This is offered hybrid, in person, or online. Some of the panels or topics we've had in the past, we always have one on the mentor mentee, advisor advisee relationship and how to navigate that, how to, make it a positive relationship because we know that sometimes there are tensions and challenges between mentor mentees, advisors, and advisees. We often also talk about starting your dissertation, from start to finish, kind of that path that you might go on as well, and receive advice from graduate students or candidates who have successfully navigated this transition from, coursework, more guidance to independent scholar status. Now, you all are online, so there is much more probably autonomy and independence that you naturally have to navigate. But as we get more into that research and writing phase, this might be something you consider, particularly if we're talking about navigating relationships with your advisor, as well as tips to start the dissertation process. And finally, I want to mention our Graduate Student Congress. Now, a lot of what we do around wellness is, of course, partnered with the UK Counseling Center and the Office of Student Success. But the Graduate Student Congress also plays a big role in this. Each semester, they host a mental health awareness week. They often do events virtually and in person. More and more so, they've moved towards virtual offerings in order to make it what they do, their advocacy more accessible to more graduate students. And so I just want to encourage you to look into the organization, see what they do. They have monthly meetings that are virtual as well. They're hybrid, but you can also look and see conference award money they give, and consider involvement as far as we think about some of these professional skills that might come into use down the road or when looking at crafting, creating application materials. So I wanted to mention them. They're a great source of advocacy and a great source of community that's built in the online space and in person as well. And I'm going to turn it over to Abby now to talk more about the career support and enhancement and professional skills that we're all seeking.
Thanks, Ashley. I'm excited to be with you all today and get to talk to you a little bit more about what I do here at UK. So I kind of like to describe it as I help our grad students find a job they're excited about and they're passionate about. Sometimes it can be a struggle thinking through what we want to do after grad school or if we're setting ourselves up for career success after grad school. So I help you navigate that. Being a grad student means you're really busy, and so we don't want anyone to feel alone in their career journey, but instead that you have someone to help you. So I'm your grad student career advisor, and I do one-on-one appointments with grad students of all fields. So all the fields you all put in the chat earlier, I can meet with any of you to talk more about a variety of things. Sometimes these appointments just look like career exploration, students wanting to know what they can do with their degree after graduation, what their options are. Sometimes it looks like things like timeline for applying to jobs, securing a job, what it would look like to maybe go in a non-traditional career path or things like that. I offer support for both students in academia who are wanting an academic position, but also in non-academia as well. The job market for both can be challenging, and again, you all are busy students, so we don't want you to have to navigate that alone. So I have some areas that I offer support for job searching, including things like what job search engine should I be using, what job board should I use, where should I be looking, if you have specific requirements for your job, like maybe you need to be in a specific location, that's something I can help you with. Internships as well. So we really encourage grad students to think about completing internships. Regardless of what program you're in, this is a really great way to gain some practical experience. They can often lead to full-time job offers. A great way to kind of boost up your resume. So I can help with things like finding an internship that works well for you. And one resource I really think every grad student should take advantage of is getting help with your resume, your CV, and other job documents. So if you already have job documents, I can help you edit them. We can go over kind of best practices. If you don't have them, then I can help you create them. Again, resumes and CVs, but also cover letters or other documents you may be asked to submit. It's always a good idea to get kind of other eyes on your documents, to hear from people of, okay, maybe change this thing or move this here. Advice on how to tailor your resume for a job description and things like that. So I also help with interviewing. If you have an interview coming up, we can conduct a mock interview to kind of help you prepare for that. I ask you questions, you answer them, and I'm able to give you feedback. It's a safe setting, so if interviews make you nervous or anxious, it's really good to get some practice in, just to kind of get an idea of maybe some things you can improve on, but also the things you're doing well. Again, in a safe setting before you go on to your actual interview. I should go ahead and kind of add here that these services are no matter what year you're in your program. So I know some of you all said you were, PhDs. If you're in your first year or your last year, these services are still of use. It's never too early to be thinking about your career after graduation. So we really encourage all students to be thinking about using these resources. Networking is another thing I can talk with you about. Sometimes students are wondering how to network, especially online students. How do you network in an online space? We have a few platforms that help with this, and I can give you advice about things like your LinkedIn presence, your general online presence to make it as compelling as possible, both for employers, for other students, your professors, etc. And there's a whole host of other things that we can talk about as well. Whenever I meet with students, I tell them that that hour is theirs. We can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. So if there's something kind of not on one of these bullet points, but that's related to your career, I'm always happy to talk about that with you as well. I always tell people I want to serve you best where you are. And so if there's something specific you're needing, like help with, your elevator pitch, or you're wondering about a specific type of job, that's always something I'm open to having a conversation with you about. So another thing I work on here at UK is kind of some career and professional development events. And many of these are online, so you all can take advantage of them. That could look like a workshop series where we talk about a topic. That could look like an employer hosting an information session for students via Zoom. There's a few different ways to kind of get plugged in and take part in some various events, even in the online setting. So obviously I'm one of your biggest resources for career support, but we also have quite a few on-demand 24/7 online career resources. So if you're an international graduate student, InterStride is great for talking about sponsorship here in the US. Beyond Graduate School is a newer resource we're offering. This is just for master's students. It goes over things like resumes, networking, job searching. Its counterpart for PhDs is Beyond the Professoriate. I like this site because it talks about both academic and non-academic careers. We really have quite a few resources. I don't want to overwhelm anyone with this slide, but I do always like to show this to show people that we have resources for you. We don't want you to feel stuck or alone. We have things that are specific to you as well, even as online students or distance students. So this is how you'll make an appointment with me. I've kind of begged and pleaded to get a one-click link, but instead you have to follow 8 literal steps. But I've tried to make the 8 steps as simple as possible. This is how you can make an appointment with me. If you go to that QR code and just follow these steps, you can make one with me. I do offer Zoom appointments, and I take appointments Monday through Friday, every day of the week. So again, this can be about anything you're wanting to discuss. It could be about your resume, it could be about interviewing, a job search, truly whatever you need, I'm here to help with, and I know I can say the same for Ashley as well. Okay, so we're curious. We asked the question in the beginning. Again, we'll answer this question in the chat, unless you want to do the Mentimeter, Ashley, but I figured we'll just do it in the chat. How can we best support your goals? This could look like career goals. It could look like research and teaching goals. We want to hear from you kind of what you're specifically needing. So Ashley mentioned in the beginning that we're a small office. So that means that we all kind of wear a lot of different hats and do a lot of different things. So we'd love to hear if there's an area where you're needing extra support or guidance, and we can maybe either point you in the direction of something we have, or we can find a time to meet with you to talk more about that. So just let us know in the chat how we can support your goals. Again, career, teaching, research, wellness, anything in that vein.
We'll give it just a few minutes. So Erica says teaching resources. There are definitely many teaching resources for you. I mentioned some of them through CELT, but I do encourage you to go and to CELT's website, and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for you.
Yeah, feel free to email me if you want any help with that. A lot of times I get questions of things like, what should I include on my resume? How long should my resume be? A lot of really practical things like that. And that's all stuff I'm happy to go over with you as well. Anyone else have anything?
Thank you, Misha. And again, we are open to hearing from you because we do want to make sure that we are supporting our online graduate students as well. So if there's anything we can do as far as that goes, if there's offerings you would like to see more virtually, then we're happy to, we're happy to look at those and to see how we can make it a more robust support structure for you.
Just put our emails in the chat. So if you ever need to reach us via email, you have those there.
And Abby, I'm gonna put it in the big chat. I think it was just the host then.
Oh, thanks.
Yep, no problem. All right, any questions, comments? Okay, well, thank you all so much for being here with us today. I know it's the day before Election Day, so we appreciate your time and your attention. And we hope to see you in one of our initiatives or workshops in the future.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.